Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Boy, that wasn't loud to you guys, right? I think my mixer was completely fucked up there. It blew me. As soon as Mitch McConnell came on the screen, it like blasted me out of my fucking chair.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
I guess so. Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. I guess if you're listening to the audio version, that's going to be a reference you do not understand. So go to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel so you could at least know which TikTok I'm talking about. That was in the countdown to the show. And the show tonight, obviously, we're continuing our series. We're building the perfect fantasy football team around each first-round draft pick. We have done Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce, and today we are doing Tyreek Hill. So if you've not watched or listened to the previous 5, definitely go and do that, whether it be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Definitely subscribe there, or on our YouTube channel, which is, dare I say, dangerously close to 10,000 subscribers. We're tickling it right now. We're like 30 away. So please go and do that and watch the streams there. If you are there right now, definitely jump in the chat and hang out with us all night.
We're like tickling it. We want to be fondling it.
That's right. Okay. Very different energies, I feel like, but I think we all want to accomplish the same goal here. So I like that.
I want to fondle 10K.
I mean, you do both. I'm skipping second base. I'm making a beeline straight to third.
Yeah.
Right across the pitcher's mound. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yep. Run over the catcher on the way home.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm turning right back around and hitting him right away to make it easier when I get there. But yeah, so we are drafting a fantasy team around Tyreek Hill here. If you are new to this specific series, we are using fantasy data ADP when we talk. It'll be PPR scoring, 12-team PPR. And we are going to talk through what we are going to plan for the first few rounds, the types of players we will see there, maybe 6 or 7 rounds. And then we are going to jump into a sleeper mock draft, do a mock draft, a full one around Tyreek Hill, and we will see what happens. So, again, like I said with the Travis Kelce, I said Travis Kelce can be drafted in a number of different positions for the first round. And I feel like Tyreek Hill is similar to that.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to go ahead of Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but legitimately he could be taken ahead of running backs. He could definitely be taken ahead of Kelce. So I think anywhere between 4 and like 8 or 9 is realistic for Tyreek Hill, but we are going to assume we're drafting out of the 6th spot in a 12-teamer tonight.
Yep. I think this episode is going to be fun. I mean, Tyreek Hill is a very fun player in the NFL. And I think, given what he can do, it might be, I don't know, Zach, you said you were kind of, didn't love teams here and there. I was doing some drafts today. I love some teams that I made up. I think it would just be fun to go around Tyreek Hill.
I'm just not a massive fan of drafting in the middle usually.
Right.
I like being on one of the ends. So
you get 2 players and a couple picks. That's why, right?
Yeah, and the players that seem to be there. I think everything for these drafts with Tyreek Hill. Tomorrow I'm going to do Cooper Kupp. I think Trevor and I are going to do, who is the other one? Saquon Barkley tomorrow. I believe so. Whatever. But like Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill are similar draft plans and strategies where I feel like everything depends on your second round pick.
Yeah.
Whoever you get in that second round pick. And for us here at, with Tyreek Hill, we can jump straight into it. Second round pick is going to be 19th overall. And it's scary depending on which running back falls, because I feel like you should be taking a running back here. I still think it's best available. So if Tony Pollard's the top running back on the board, I'm probably not going to draft him. But I've seen Derrick Henry drop here.
Derrick Henry projected 19, or at one point he was projected 19th.
Yeah, we'll read through it quickly. So starting at 16 going down, with fantasy data ADP, we got Tony Pollard, Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Garrett Wilson, Josh Allen, Jalen Waddle. I've seen Derrick Henry go earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen even Josh Jacobs go earlier. But I feel like for me personally, those are the two guys I'm targeting. And like I said, if Tony Pollard's the best running back on the board, usually that would mean a wide receiver fell. So I'm probably taking either Amon-Ra St. Brown or Garrett Wilson. Yeah. That's my first thoughts. What do you guys think with the second round pick here?
Just to speak a little bit more on those running backs, it feels like those running, and maybe this is just because we've been doing from pick 1, but it feels like the running backs you can get at 19 are the same ones that you can get if you had the number 1 pick overall, whatever like that. So maybe I'm fatigued for that or whatever reason. But it kind of feels like you said, unless a running back falls, it almost feels like wide receiver or quarterback is the play here.
Yeah, quarterback too. Trevor?
Yeah, it feels like a dead zone. I mean, if Derrick Henry's there, great. But I agree. I'm not going Tony Pollard. I'm a little different than you two. I don't even want a Josh Jacobs. So it's a place where I'd rather not be. But to me, that kind of is the same thing every year, just not wanting to be in that middle. That's an awkward place to be drafting.
Would you go both Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson over Josh Jacobs if presented that?
Probably. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't be happy if I took Josh Jacobs over either of them either.
I agree.
So I'm just trying to figure out where you value everything then. So if, I guess, rank these players or who's the top option out of this group, I suppose then. Would you go Amon-Ra, Josh Jacobs, who's the other one? Garrett Wilson, Josh Allen, or Jalen Hurts? Which of those players?
I hate quarterbacks round 2, so I'd put Josh Jacobs at the third spot after the 2 wide receivers and before the 2 quarterbacks. But that's more based on personal preference than anything. I just can never bring myself to take the quarterback second in the second round, unless of course you're drafting first and we're talking, a second round, third round turnaround.
What about you, Luke?
I'm the exact opposite. Like I love Jalen Hurts here.
Okay. I mean, true. I fully understand that strategy here, just because it's you draft a guy and you truly don't have to worry.
Right.
Right. And I guess if you do, then your year's kind of shit.
I also think that, and maybe this is crazy to think, but like Jalen Hurts probably has the highest ceiling for me this year for quarterbacks.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And
he is the ceiling. Yeah.
Obviously, Tyreek Hill is not Justin Jefferson, but Tyreek Hill's ceiling is, about as high as they get as well. So I love, doubling up on, high ceiling and really high floor guys right away.
I think that's fair. I personally don't love the feeling of my team if I miss out on one of those top tier running backs. But like I said, if Tony Pollard's the best guy sitting there, then I might go quarterback, because I don't feel like there's that big of a difference between a Tony Pollard and a Najee Harris or something like that.
100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of talked about 19 there. I think there's going to be a couple lines of thinking once we get to the actual sleeper draft. But round 3, it is going to be pick 30. Then, again, PPR 12 teams. Starting at 26, the ADP. The order of the ADP is Devontae Smith, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Harris, Mark Andrews, T. Higgins, Travis Etienne, and DK Metcalf. What's your guys' thinking out of that group?
So, like, back in my heyday of like wild fantasy football, I would totally go Tyreek Hill, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith here, just to have the 2 most electric running backs or 2 most electric receivers in the NFL. But I don't think you can do that. I think running back is probably the play here. If you don't go running back in the second with that second round pick, if you do, and I don't hate doubling up on a receiver here, but I think I'm in the mindset for if you do take a running back in round 2, you can take another running back here in round 3. And if you can get 2, number 1 running backs in Tyreek Hill, you can do a lot worse than that.
Yeah, and you look at some of the receivers after the 30th. They'd need somebody. They'd be falling to you. Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf. Like I'm not really sold on any of those guys. As wide receiver 2s, they're solid, but like I'd much rather have one running back than 2 wide receivers, especially one who wears a pacifier during a game.
I'm kind of actually really hoping I get 6 now because I kind of want to do that Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith strategy just to see what happens.
I was just looking further ahead. Like, would you consider a 0 RB strategy from this spot? Because like I think you could wait until.
I think it's doable.
I think it is too. Waiting until round 6 would be 67 overall. Skipping ahead really quick, you could do like where is he? Why am I not? Oh yeah, there he is. You could do like James Conner, Javonte Williams as a RB 1 and 2, and it's not terrible.
Yeah, you can get away with it.
Right.
Yeah,
you have to hit.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the few spots where I do a 0 RB. I think in general, 0 RB is one of the dumbest fantasy strategies that's out there. But I think there's actually a validity to doing it at the spot.
I think so too. If we have enough time, maybe we'll go really quick and try to do a 0 RB1. But yeah, so for me at 30, I'm probably, if Najee Harris is there, that's going to be a tough player to pass up on.
Certainly.
But I also don't hate going Tyreek running back and then getting a T Higgins or somebody like that as a wide receiver 2. And if I do that, then I'm waiting at wide receiver. Someone has to fall in my lap.
Yep.
But it's not terrible. Round 4 will be pick 43. So starting at 40 in the ADP is Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Joe Burrow, Kenneth Walker, TJ Hawkinson, Justin Herbert, DeAndre Hopkins, and Justin Fields. So for me personally, if I'm going quarterback early, I may be more willing to go Justin Fields here than Jalen Hurts in the second.
That's fair. Totally 100% agree with that.
But you're also taking a chance, obviously,
right?
Hoping he falls there,
right? But I mean, the I guess what outweighs it there is you're probably getting a really good player in the second round if you don't take Jalen Hurts there, right? So who can probably make up for somewhat of what Justin Fields can't match Jalen Hurts in.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't love him overall, obviously, in terms comparing to last year, like as your RB1, but I really like Aaron Jones in that spot. I mean, there are a heck of a lot of worse things you can get than Aaron Jones in the 4th round.
Yeah, for all the mocks I've done, I've never seen him fall to this spot. But if he does, obviously, I think that would be the best value. Otherwise, I mean, go ahead. No, you go.
I was just going to say, I bet he doesn't fall in really anyone's mock draft unless it's like full of Bears fans or like in anyone's draft at all. Like people are in on Aaron Jones this year.
I think so too. For this spot, it's pretty much the same pick in every 4th round we've done so far, at least that I've been pushing the charge. Like I just love DeAndre Hopkins as a wide receiver 2 here.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just a big believer in him. I have too much stock in him already. But like if I'm comparing him or TJ Hawkinson, I'm probably passing him, or one of the quarterbacks, I'm probably passing on quarterbacks. Him or Kenneth Walker. I'm not a believer in Kenneth Walker. So, and then the next wide receiver after Hopkins is Terry McLaurin, who now is turf toe. So I'm pretty in on DeAndre Hopkins, especially on this spot.
Yeah, I'll stop after this one, but like Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, and DeAndre Hopkins running your starting lineup,
Yeah, and yeah, we may have to do a really quick 0 RB because I think that could get very fun.
Yeah.
What pick are we? We're on pick number 4. Let's do round 5, and then we'll go straight to the sleeper mock draft because I think we're going to get more out of that. But so we're picking 54. Starting at 50 in the ADP is DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Miles Sanders, George Kittle, Christian Watson, J.K. Dobbins, Trevor Lawrence, Drake London, Alexander Madison. This is a tier of players that have a lot of question marks for me, and I almost never feel good drafting any of them.
Nope.
So I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are.
So my thinking is, given I don't honestly given if you do that no running back strategy, I think Kittle might be a move here. I also think J.K. Dobbins might be a move here. But let's say you're drafting a normal draft. You're right, Zach. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of guys that are going to go out and ever be like the number one scoring guy on your team on any given week, right? I guess I'm still with J.K. Dobbins. Like Baltimore has to run the ball in order for Lamar to be effective. So I guess I'm with J.K. Dobbins, but I'm totally with you. Like there's tons of question marks. It's like a spot that, of course, you want a player, but it's kind of like, all right, we need a reset of a board when we get here.
Yeah, for me, I'm higher on Madison than most people. I don't know if I definitely don't want him as my RB2. And I think there's more value, in my opinion, waiting on a Javonte Williams if you can. He's probably going to be available next round. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're looking at the board, I mean, let's be honest, unless you're a Packer fan, nobody really wants Christian Watson. J.K. Dobbins has a lot of question marks, like you said. I mean, everybody does. So if you have to, I think you can do a lot worse than Madison as well.
Yeah.
Are either of you believers that Trevor Lawrence is going to improve for fantasy this year? Because if you are, I feel like this is a good spot to take him.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I'm just super indifferent about him. So like he's a guy I went at this spot in a lot of mock drafts, but again, I just didn't feel great about it. And then I see like a Deshaun a couple rounds later, and I'm like, oh, I should have taken him. That's kind of how I always feel.
Yeah, my thoughts with Trevor Lawrence are like all the targets last year that went to like Zay Jones and Marvin Jones and all those bum players. Like those are going to Calvin Ridley now. Of course, there's going to be more production.
Let's not call the Joneses, Marvin Jones especially bum, Detroit Lion legend, Marvin Jones. But I mean, like any team with Trevor Lawrence as your starting fantasy quarterback, are you excited about it? Like, I know that's not everything, but if I'm not excited for Trevor Lawrence as my quarterback, I don't want him here.
Yeah, Trevor, I'm a big excitement guy, and I love Trevor Lawrence. I'm not excited about that, but also I'm not. I don't feel bad about it. I don't think.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's just in a tier where it's like, he's not a top tier guy, and he's not a sleeper guy who could break out to me.
Right. Yeah.
So like, I'd rather go early with a Hurts or a Fields, or I'd rather wait and grab Anthony Richardson, who could be amazing.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm doing. Randy in the chat wants to know, and if anyone is watching on Twitch or YouTube, definitely jump in the chat. Does Trey Lance get released by the Niners now that Darnold's back up? No, they can designate him as the third quarterback, and he won't count against the roster. That's the 49ers quarterback rule, and they would be the ones to know the rule better than anybody else. So he's safe. The fact that he's not coming to practice does suggest he's going to get traded. I imagine he is going to back up Jimmy Garoppolo once again. That's my guess.
I would really love him on the Raiders. That could be a really fun offense.
I don't trust Josh McDaniels.
Oh no, I don't either. But him, Devontae, Josh Jacobs, like I don't love Josh Jacobs, but like that could theoretically be kind of fun.
True, that's fair. That's fair. I was just thinking of other places where he could go, and it's like Tampa, I guess. Green. Oh God, I would lose my shit. I would be so excited. Not going to happen. I would like to see him take over for Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota, obviously where he's from.
I wouldn't maybe in Minnesota.
I mean, I wouldn't like that as someone who theoretically would want to cheer for the Packers, but you know what? I'm a free agent. I'm willing to be swayed, and Trey Lance could sway me, I think.
Dude, send him to Detroit. Great. Let's stop the Jared Goff bullshit, man.
Hendon Hooker's there, brother.
You won't be playing for a while.
And Teddy at number 50. But yeah, let's just jump into the sleeper mock draft here.
Yes, Randy, it seems like it was a bad trade for the 49ers.
It was bad because they weren't on the same page. Kyle Shanahan didn't want him, and John Lynch did. So screw that kid's career just because Kyle Shanahan doesn't want to use him. It's really, really annoying, but it is what it is. I just hope he is given a chance and isn't completely fucked up. He is still like 21 years old now. Finally,
young.
Yeah. He has a lot.
We should go with Tyreek Hill here.
I agree. So we're starting our draft here. 12-team PPR. We got Tyreek Hill at number 6, and now we hope Derrick Henry falls. That would be the ideal
It's going to
situation.
be tough. Yeah.
He did not. I will say, so to me, very clearly, I'm going Josh Jacobs, but what do you guys think?
I don't hate going Josh Jacobs here. Like I gave my 2 cents in on the Jalen Hurts, but it sounds like we'll do that later. So I don't hate Josh Jacobs here.
Yeah, I don't hate him either, especially because of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know how much I can rely on him to get into the end zone. That's a big question mark I have. Like I don't think he's ever going to be a double-digit touchdown receiver. And to that point, I think Josh Jacobs is the better value.
I've been burned a lot the last 2 years by Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I might be tempted to take him here just because of that. But no, I'm with you with Josh Jacobs.
Okay, so we'll go Josh Jacobs. We'll see what happens. I do think then pick number 3, I do think everything's available to us.
Yeah.
Again, I kind of hope Najee Harris falls, but and he didn't.
Fuck.
So we do have 2 good wide receivers on the top of the board in Higgins and Devontae Smith. I have a feeling Luke will want to go Lamar Jackson, which I don't necessarily hate. But what's your guys' thoughts?
You said my thoughts.
I figured.
I hate Lamar Jackson.
Really? You hate him?
For fantasy, I do. Like I
Really?
just don't trust him. Like I mean, last year I told you there's no way his body holds up. I don't think I can ever trust his body to hold up.
But it's pretty clear. I got to be careful what I say.
Like he's a solid player. He's a great talent. But I look at this and I think
he wasn't as hurt last year as what was said.
That's
if
fair.
That makes sense.
That's fair. But I just look at it as if he gets hurt, I'm going to be kicking myself so much if I pass on a Devontae Smith or a T. Higgins here. I'd lean Devontae Smith, but that's just me personally.
Really? I really don't trust Devontae Smith. I think I'd prefer T. Higgins.
I don't either, but T. Higgins takes more hard hits than a freaking MMA fighter, so I can't trust that either.
I am so in on Devontae Smith.
Really? We'll go Devontae then, but I feel like if A.J. Brown goes down, do you trust Devontae Smith more?
Yes.
Really? I don't.
Slightly.
Yep.
Slightly, not a ton.
And if Jamar Chase goes down, I trust T. Higgins wholeheartedly.
Tyler Boyd, baby.
I trust them both.
No.
I trust them both very well.
Okay. For the record, I disagree. We'll go Devontae Smith. I hope I'm proved wrong.
I actually probably should have put in my vote for ETN there. I'm really high on ETN, but
why?
I don't know, man. I just got a feeling inside my funny bones.
Oof. Okay. Well, Keenan Allen's here. It's going to be hard to pass up on him, but I feel like we almost have to.
Well, to get Hopkins, you have to.
Oh, yeah. Do you prefer Hopkins or Keenan Allen?
Hopkins.
Keenan Allen.
I think I prefer Hopkins as well. Would you rather go
Take that, Trevor.
Hawkinson, Kittle, or Justin Herbert?
No. I'm going DeAndre Hopkins here.
Okay. Bye weeks, just in case people care. 10-10, 5 for Allen, 7 for Hopkins. So let's go Hopkins. I do like him on the Keenan Allen.
He's a top 5 player. Or he's a top 5 receiver in the game. You're not getting anyone else there like that.
I agree. So TJ Hawkinson's still on the board. Trevor Lawrence, we talked about at this spot. I love Drake London. I mean, it's hard to convince myself to take him after 3 wide receivers. And then you got Dobbins and Madison. I know, Trevor, you said you'd like Madison. Also, Darren Waller there, who I think is going to be great as well. Would you be willing to reach for Waller?
I like Hawkinson here with the idea to get Javonte Williams as an RB2. I was actually considering Hawkinson last round, and I mean, here, to your point, wide receiver would be pointless. And like I said, I think Hawkinson and Javonte is better than Madison and whatever's left over next round.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I mean, there's probably not many chances you're going to get another. Well, I guess I think it'd be tough to find another good tight end if you don't go like Hawkinson or Waller here, like a tight end that could be a huge contributor to a championship team. Is what I mean. So I'm cool with going Hawkinson or Waller here. I gave my spiel on J.K. Dobbins. I just looking. Are we coming? We don't have a pick for a long time now, right?
I mean, we're in the middle, so
Yeah. So we'll get for running back, we would get James Conner, Dalvin Cook, Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, that's why I asked. My only worry is filling that RB2 spot.
We
I
can.
don't think that'll be a difficulty.
No, I think we'll be able to do it. This is definitely a different draft than I have done. So definitely interesting. We can go Hawkinson. I think it's a coin flip between him and Waller for me. Stoof, I agree. Clifford is better than Lance, but it's also like saying, Mount Everest is higher than Mount Hill in Elk Mound, Wisconsin. Like Sean Clifford is the Mount Everest of quarterbacks in the NFL at this current point. And then Euxes, if I pronounce that right, Jamar Chase or Christian McCaffrey in half PPR. I think it kind of depends on where you're drafting for me, but I think I'm going to say
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's close.
I'm saying McCaffrey, and I actually don't think it's close.
See, I also think it's Chase, and I don't think it's close.
And I think it's close. So,
so sorry, Euxes.
I think I would go. Something's telling me not to trust the 49ers this year. 1, 2. I really like the running backs you would be able to get on the turn. So I think you can go Jamar Chase and double up on 2 good running backs. I think it would be easier to get 2 good running backs and 2 good wide receivers there.
Well, scroll up a little bit in our draft board.
Yeah, so you could go Jamar Chase there, and then I think you could get Stevenson, Pollard, Harris, a combination of them, maybe Jonathan Taylor, depending on when you draft. So you might have some clarity there.
Watch our Building a Championship Team with Jamar Chase episode too.
True.
And
true.
McCaffrey.
Yeah. Jerry Alexander traded Jerry Jeudy for Joe Mixon. What do you think? I think I'd prefer Mixon. If it's redraft, I prefer Mixon.
I was going to say, I'm guessing you're in desperate need of a running back if you're trading for Joe Mixon. So I like him with Mixon, but if it's I hate it if it's dynasty.
Correct.
And take a look at our consistency rankings. Joe Mixon was one of the most consistent running backs of the year last year. Can't be mad about that.
True. Okay, so back to the draft here. 6th round, we have 1 running back. We got 3 wide receivers and a tight end. We got to go running back, I think. And I think James Conner is all right. What do you guys think?
Yep.
Okay. James Conner, and then let's hope Javonte Williams is there.
No kidding.
In the 7th. That would be awesome. I think he will be. And
fuck you, Zach.
5 sucks.
It's your fault.
Just a second. I got fuck you, team 5. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Whatever. You'll get it in a sec. You'll see it. I'm just trash talking.
You know what? Take away team 5's pick. That's what they get for colluding last year.
Okay, fine.
Give him Rashad White. Fuck him.
Yeah, we'll give him Sky Moore. Okay.
Hey, look who's there.
Okay, so we're gonna go Javonte Williams. I think I'd go Rashad White though, if Williams wasn't there.
Yes.
Oh, if Williams wasn't there. Okay, yes.
Right. So I'm just saying I think I would go running back no matter what.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes. Given our makeup of the team right now.
Jair's had Adams and Brown and redraft. So yeah, you're good. You're good to go there.
We're gonna look back in this and say, how did Sky Moore last to the 7th round?
True. Some people are all in on Sky Moore this year.
I think it's the exact opposite of people like me who are all in on Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Sky Moore is going to be anything.
I mean, anyone who declares one of the Chiefs wide receivers is going to be a big thing. I admire your confidence in obliviousness, if that's the correct word to say. Oblivion.
Andy Reid understands. Andy Reid understands that Kadarius Toney is like the most electric player in the NFL with the ball in his hands. It's going to happen a lot this year.
I think he's a top 5 wide receiver on the Chiefs for sure.
Okay. Yes.
I think that's where my opinion ends with Kadarius Toney. We didn't go quarterback. Would you go Deshaun Watson here?
Yep.
Would you go Jordan Addison?
Watson.
I'm going quarterback here.
Okay.
I'm feeling good with the wide receivers.
Got Watson, then unknown Cohen on Twitch has pick 7 in an 8-man league. Man, every time we get an 8-man questions, like every team looks good. But ideally, he can get Bijan and Stephon Diggs, or do you go Kupp and Barkley?
I'm not going Barkley, so I'm going Diggs and Bijan.
I think I'd rather have Kupp and Barkley.
Can I pick Bijan and Barkley?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Oh, wait, that's an option?
Well, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
You could pick 7, one player.
Oh, I thought this is like a hypothetical trade. Okay, I got it.
But if you made me pick one of these, I'd go probably Kupp and Barkley.
I'm going to change mine then. I'm going Diggs and Kupp.
I like that too.
Interesting. Okay. I hope that helped you out even a tiny bit.
No, unknown Cohen. Either way you go, you'll have a good team.
Well, yeah, it's an 8-man league. Everyone's going to have a good team. But like, I think there's the only question marks, and I understand they're major question marks, but the only question marks about Kupp and Barkley is health. And Barkley proved to stay healthy last year behind a better offensive line and a good offense. Kupp there's no questions if he's healthy.
Right.
Bijan might be taken out near the goal line for Tyler Algier. And Diggs is great. Like, I have nothing bad to say about Diggs other than I suppose if Gabriel Davis is going to see more targets, they kind of have to come from somewhere. But
yeah,
you know,
I mean, if we're talking just sole receivers here, I think Diggs puts up more stinkers than Kupp. And if we're talking running backs, I think Bijan puts up more stinkers than Saquon.
And Cohen, I'm always of the mindset to take best available. If somehow you went 4 running backs in a row, I personally feel like you'll figure it out. Like if you hit on the running backs and if you believe in you and you drafted the best fuckers available, then they're going to explode and then you can trade them for the wide receiver that you want. That's what my mindset is.
Zach, I like that. You be you. Everyone's always like, oh, projections and points. Do what your heart feels. That's how you win fantasy football.
Well, like right now, if you look at our draft board, we haven't missed on a single pick. And that's what my mindset is. Like, correct. I just drafted a team of all bangers. Like, they might finish all of them top 10 every week.
Every time I draft a team in fantasy football, it's like Ruxin in the league that he's always roster baiting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I mean, we talk about the guys. I talk about it last year. I had all my running backs go down. Justin Jefferson was that dude. At extra wide receivers, trade him, get guys you want. You know, it's an option.
It's so hard to trade stars. So you have to do it, but it's so hard to.
Yeah, it was even harder when Breece Hall went down after I got him 2 weeks later. So.
Okay, so going back to this draft, my question to you guys then is, would you have rather had Deshaun Watson and Michael Thomas or Jordan Addison and Anthony Richardson?
I don't think that's even a question, if I'm being honest with you.
Which one?
Watson.
I mean, clearly Watson and Michael Thomas.
Okay, I would go the opposite. Personally. Not me. Like, I think, yeah, I would rather have Anthony Richardson. Like, I think it's more fun, and I'm not a believer in Deshaun Watson at the current moment. And Michael Thomas, from everything I have heard, I am getting more scared. So, obviously, it came into the offseason. I'm not sure if there was someone more high on Michael Thomas. And through some conversations, I am backpedaling a little bit. Just a little bit. I think he'll be good. I don't think he will be what we have discussed.
I mean, he's a wide receiver 4 in this team.
Yeah, but Jordan Addison would also be the wide receiver 4. And I think he'll outperform Michael Thomas. You know?
So, it comes down to, for me, it comes down to vets versus, experience versus no experience.
For sure. So it just depends. There's more unknown with the other pick. But I would assume you guys would want to go Michael Thomas here then.
Yeah.
Over these other players.
Yes. But I could be swayed into that argument, Zach. If we sat down and had a 2-hour conversation about it, I would probably end up on your side on that.
Okay. So here I would take Zay Flowers over Michael Thomas.
No, not me.
I would pick Odell Beckham over Michael Thomas. I would pick.
We can't pick both Ravens.
I would pick Samaje Perine over Michael Thomas.
I can get behind Odell.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Odell, honestly.
Yeah. I think Odell's good. I think Zay Jones might be a bigger part of the offense, but I like both of them. Michael Thomas, I just don't think. He's playing on rubber bands, is what it feels like.
Yeah,
like he is not where he was this time last year.
It's tough to say that and take Odell here.
Yeah. So I mean, it's up to you guys. We can take Michael Thomas. It does not matter. I still think he's a player to take in fantasy. I still think he will outperform his ADP if he stays healthy. I am just for sure not anywhere near as high on him as I once was.
My vote is for Odell Beckham Jr. here.
Trevor?
All right, we can go Odell.
Would you go Odell or would you go P. Ryan? Because my vote would be P. Ryan.
I'm going to be honest. I don't like either of them here.
Okay.
Just act like I'm not here for this round, man. I hate this round. I don't want to touch it.
Okay, we're locking up the Broncos backfield. It makes sense. We're going to go P. Ryan. We have 3 stud wide receivers. We're not going to start any wide receiver we take here in our starting lineup. So, but P. Ryan would be started if Javonte Williams goes down. So that's what we're going to think about there. We just need to lock up that backfield, especially because we waited at RB2. Okay, does that make sense for everybody?
Sure.
Cool. Okay, coming back here. Let's go flexes. I like Cortland Sutton if you want to go back to wide receiver. Adam Thielen's also there. For running backs, it's pretty gross, I would say. A-Chain, McKinnon, Harris. I think we can wait if we wanted Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah.
I hate Cortland Sutton. I'm with Adam Thielen.
Okay.
I'd agree.
Trevor? Really? Okay. We'll go Adam Thielen here then. I thought you liked Cortland Sutton, Luke.
Me?
Yeah.
I've been on record saying I hate the Broncos.
Yeah, but I thought you came around on Sutton.
Well, I think that was kind of a gun to my head situation.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think it was if I had to pick a Broncos receiver.
Not Tim Patrick? Excuse me?
I think he was hurt at that time when we had that conversation.
Probably. Are we going to Ezekiel Elliott here?
We are.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought. So now we have 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs. We have 4 wide receivers. At this point now, defenses and kickers are going off the board in this mock. So I think everything from this point forward is a little bit different than what most people will actually see. Like I would assume Elijah Mitchell's long gone at this point. Probably Tank Bigsby as well. But I like both of them. I like Dobbs. I still like Laporta, even though we drafted Hawkinson early. But what's your thoughts?
I like Tank. I'm in a Tank.
I like Tank. Yeah, we'll take Tank.
Okay. So this is our 6th running back, probably our final running back.
Perfect.
But obviously a good one. And like I said, we have 4 wide receivers. We're drafting this on August 23rd for anyone watching or listening after the fact. Because of that, like I've said in some other shows, and because the way this mock has gone with all of these defenses getting taken, I don't think there's a single reason to take a defense. I don't want to be the last person to take a defense because it truly makes no sense since you could just cut somebody prior to week 1 and pick up the defense you were going to draft here.
Correct.
So we never draft a kicker. We're not going to draft a defense for this mock because we're being realistic in terms of what's on the board and if we were drafting right now. So with that being said, I'm just saying we will draft 3 more actual players. But on the board now in round 13, Tyler Boyd is still there. We could do running back if we wanted to go Tyler Algier and just see if something happens in camp. Mm-hmm. Romeo Dobbs, I know we all love.
Make Luke happy and take Dobbs for us.
Cool. Works for me.
So can you look at our team real quick?
Yep. So top to bottom, we have Deshaun Watson, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, TJ Hawkinson, Javonte Williams. And then on the bench, we got Samaje P. Ryan, Adam Thielen, Ezekiel Elliott, Tank Bigsby, Romeo Dobbs.
I mean, we have 5 number 1 receivers.
Yeah, right. So feels pretty good. Round 14 on the board. Jalen Hyatt's another player who could possibly be a number one wide receiver. Rondell Moore is another one who could be a number one wide receiver, especially after the Marquise Brown clip I saw today.
Yeah.
I'm high on Rondale.
I am too. For running backs, Jalen Warren's here. Obviously, he looked good in the preseason, and he has a week-to-week role in the Steelers. He's also a handcuff.
I'm higher on Jalen Hyatt than Rondell Moore.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
I think the Giants. I think he has more opportunity to score. The Cardinals are just a dog shit team. I don't want anyone from the Cardinals.
Even with Waller and the Giants, I see him as getting the majority of the red zone.
No, I feel that those two will complement each other very well.
I think Waller's for sure the number one target.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
I think number two targets for sure up for grabs with the Giants. I just don't think anyone's going to take that role and run with it. Rondale, like the argument against Rondale here, like not only are the Cardinals a dog shit team, like you said, you don't want anyone from the Cardinals. This would be our second Cardinal.
Right.
So like that's something to think about too. Like how much stock do we want to put into Arizona this year?
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. So whatever. We'll go Hyatt here and just see what happens. We're throwing darts.
Yeah, I also don't hate if you're in that position and you like desperately need a running back. I don't hate taking Devin Singletary.
No, me neither. I don't think he'll be here, but with our board, makes sense. We're not taking Deuce. We can't do it. If this was real, I'd take Kareem Hunt in a heartbeat.
I'd take Roshan here, but I can see Kareem.
Like, yeah, I mean, you have to take Kareem Hunt. He's gonna, if he signs somewhere, he's probably the number 1 or 2 option, which is higher than Roshan Johnson currently. You know?
Yeah, I like either.
Yeah, so let's just do that. So again, really quick, top to bottom, we went Deshaun Watson, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, CJ Hawkinson, Javonte Williams. And then on the bench, we got Samaje Perine, Adam Thielen, Ezekiel Elliott, Tank Bigsby, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Hyatt, and Kareem Hunt. Let's do another one really quick. I just want to, without even really thinking, let's do zero RB strategy. We'll get Tyreek depending on what happens here. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Tyreek, and then we'll get a wide receiver or a quarterback probably in the second here.
If Jalen Hurts is here, that's who I want to take.
Okay. He should be. Okay, so let's just see what...
Yeah, I like him over Josh Allen.
Okay. Sure. Then we'd be picking him over Amon-Ra too. I don't hate it. Coming back in the third, if this was a real draft, I'm definitely looking at running back, but again, we're not. So we will go Devontae Smith.
If that hit that 3 right there, you win the championship in your league.
I don't know if I'm going that far.
Yeah, easily.
We don't have our running backs yet. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
I'll go Mixon here.
How long? Do you have zero RB?
Yeah. Well, how long do you go zero RB? I don't know.
Until we have to go RB.
Round 6 would be the earliest to even somewhat qualify for a zero RB. I'm not even sure if I would qualify.
I would go Christian Watson here.
No, Darren Waller. We have to get it tight up. We have to load up our running backs later. We can't just keep going wide receivers. We have to fill needs here.
Wide receiver is a need.
We have 3.
There's a flex spot.
James Conner.
Okay, 6. We'll pass. We'll pass one more time. I think.
I honestly don't hate Alvin Kamara, but I totally understand not drafting him here.
Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I think we have to go one more round without a running back just to make a point. If I'm going into a draft with the idea, of going zero RB, I think I would cut the shit and actually take one here. But let's just pass one more. Go one more wide receiver. So we filled our flex with the wide receiver. We have our quarterback and tight end. And now we just need to essentially just see what running backs are there.
Or no, Rashad White. Oh, wait. No. Well, Javonte is going to be taken, but...
Doesn't matter. We'll be fine.
I would have flipped that and went Alvin Kamara, George Pickens.
A.J. Dillon going over Javonte is very funny to me.
So then we'll go Antonio Gibson as our RB2.
Yeah, I'm not liking this anymore.
No, I don't like it either.
I love the
They're
receivers.
fun to start.
Yeah, like receivers are a dime a dozen. Like I could still pick up fucking Juju or Cortland Sutton here and be fine, but we can't do that. So we have to go handcuffs to hope someone gets hurt, and they vault
Yeah.
into prominence. That's how zero RB actually works.
I've played that game a lot. It rarely works.
Right. But the one time it does work, you get very loud about it on Twitter.
The one time, yeah.
Zero RB works. That's
time,
what people do.
The one time it worked for me, I set the league champion, like the league most points in the league in history. It's still there.
Right. Like if it hits, it hits. But
and that's just because Lamar was basically a quarterback and a running back in one position that year.
Sure. So now, because we still gotta go Elijah Mitchell, I guess. We're just hoping one of the starters goes down, and then these guys vault up essentially in terms of these three. But here we're probably going wide receiver again. Tyler Algier, okay, he's another handcuff with massive upside. And then we'll go wide receiver.
I'm so in for a Gus Edwards or Jalen Warren late here.
I wouldn't mind that either. For now, we'll just go Jacoby Myers. So we have a fifth wide receiver. But yeah, we'll probably grab Jalen Warren here.
I don't think get them both, to be honest, either.
What about Clyde?
Yeah, I don't either. I like Clyde.
Shout out Clyde, man.
Too many mouths to feed there, though. But yeah, final pick. We'll probably just, we draft Kareem Hunt. Hope he gets signed to Indy after they trade away Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, it's not the worst team. Jalen Hurts, Rashad White, Antonio Gibson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, Darren Waller, Mike Williams, Samaje Perine, Ezekiel Elliott, Elijah Mitchell, Tyler Algier, Jacoby Myers, Jalen Warren, Kareem Hunt. Everything looks different if one of the starters ahead of these guys gets hurt in the preseason.
Correct.
And they become the starter. Because then it just shifts the running backs down. Then Rashad White's your RB2.
Yep.
Yep. So, is what it is.
I think I like our first team better.
For sure. And I think that what we just did, more than anything, what I want people to get out of it is just don't go into a draft with a concrete strategy that you're not willing to budge off of.
Right.
Like, you just got to adapt and take best available. Like we were talking with Cohen earlier, take the best player available when they hit, then trade them for the position you need. If you know for a fact your league's not going to trade, probably get out of that league as soon as you possibly can. Stop joining it. But then if you know that for a fact, then you do have to play a little bit differently.
Yep.
A way much less fun, I would say. But yeah,
Also,
this is Fantasy Football by Committee. Luke,
yep.
want to give a closing thought here?
I said it once. We're in draft season now. Draft the guys you want. You'll have more fun in fantasy football that way.
Also draft good players.
Yeah, right. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I understand you don't want to cheer for somebody you hate, but
I meant if you think they're going to be good in fantasy and you don't know if you should pick him now, I say you pick him now.
I agree. Just don't be the douchebag that says, "Oh, this is one of my guys," and have a list of these are my guys this year. Just don't do that. Or if you do it, just don't show it to me.
I have a list of guys.
Can you put it into the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group?
I was just going to say Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase.
No. We're doing a plug. Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it in
very bad at this.
Yeah. Okay. So Luke's going to put that in the Fantasy Football. Exactly. And you should join the Fantasy Football. You could join the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group to see Luke's list of guys that he is targeting this year. Right, Luke? Yep. That's how we do it. And we are going to be gone here. Back tomorrow, just Trevor and myself live. I will also be doing a solo show drafting I'm going to be drafting around Cooper Kupp. Trevor and I will be doing it around Saquon Barkley tomorrow. If you are watching live at this current moment and want to see more of us, we will be live in about 10 minutes again for the Lombardi Suite podcast, which is a podcast all about the Green Bay Packers. So joining us in a second.